Mr. Jaffe, Delaware has just gone live with sports betting following the Supreme Court striking down the ban. New Jersey, several other states are in the process of moving forward with that. It's long been said that Maryland was late getting in on the slots action. Would you, if elected governor, pursue this as an opportunity to increase a revenue for the state of Maryland?
The answer is absolutely no. It sends a wrong message to our children. Gambling is not a virtue. So the answer again is no. Again, what this state needs are ethical politicians who will do what's right for the people. We don't have that now. That's our problem.
Mr. Baker, on sports betting.
We already have gambling in the state of Maryland. We've had it for a while. So yes, turning away revenues that are going out of state when people are going to do it, we have to regulate it, make sure we use those funds for education, which is what we always tell people we're going to do. But yes, I would do that.
Mr. Shea.
Yeah, I share the misgivings of relying on the gambling money, but I think the bus has left the station. I think we should allow sports betting and regulate it, but I don't think the delay is bad. I think there are important questions that need to be resolved. There's not that much revenue, as the Baltimore Sun pointed out. There's not that much revenue. We're not losing much by delaying slightly to make sure we get this right and move the money to the right place.
Now to Mr. Ross on sports betting in the state of Maryland.
Legalizing sports betting is fine, but if you really want to invigorate the economy and create more sources of revenues, let's make it easier to be a small business owner in the state of Maryland. We regulate our small businesses like they're Fortune 500 companies. I think that the future of Maryland is actually already in Maryland. We're a place where you can imagine and invent the future. We're the home of the NSA, the NIH, the Goddard Space Center. We're creating great research that is becoming companies. Let's enable those companies to grow. That's where we'll get growth.
Mr. Jealous.
Gambling has already left the station in our state. That's true. If we're going to go ahead and make sports betting legal, we have to make sure that we treat our college athletes better, that we're fair to them, that we compensate them. I'm tired of seeing our college athletes exploited, and we have the opportunity here to right the ship, and we should.
Ms. Irvin.
For me, this issue is very personal. I think all gambling is wrong. I think it's immoral and reprehensible, especially if it impacts families, like my own family has been impacted. Gambling is an addiction that's worse than heroin. And so when many of our elderly people who go to gamble during the day and use all their Social Security money, and we all know this is true and it's happening right now in Prince George's County and around the state of Maryland, let's stop the scourge of gambling.
Thanks, Ms. Irvin. Senator Madaleno.
So since the Supreme Court has ruled and allowed states to move forward with sports betting, we have an interesting provision in our Constitution, which means that the voters have to approve it. I think the governor should call a special session so that we can put this issue on the ballot this year, because otherwise we're going to have to wait 2 years longer before the voters can decide, and that loss of time will put us at a competitive disadvantage with the states around us. So let's move forward with this now and let you, the voters, make the decision in November.
Mr. Jones, on sports betting.
I would say no. We have money coming from the casinos, money coming from the lotteries, and we have no idea where it's going. So I think what we need to do is, first of all, establish, checks and balances for what we're getting now. Let's try and control that and see where that's going, and then move forward, maybe, but I'd say no.
Ms. Vignarajah.
So sports betting would definitely not be my priority, given that, as I mentioned, we've already had some issues with the casino and lottery revenues going for their intended purpose. My overarching goal is to realize that in Maryland, it's incredibly difficult to run businesses. Under Governor Hogan, Maryland hasn't been open for business. It's been open for businesses leaving. The fact that after Discovery leaves, we will only have 3 Fortune 500 companies compared to Virginia that has 23 is the bigger problem that I'll be focusing on as governor.